I'm super happy to be here today. And just to introduce myself, I'm Sophia. I'm Magic Geek, technical marketer, a YouTube creator. So you might have seen me on YouTube, and I will be your today's GA4 shrink because I know the struggle right now, especially the struggle of PPC marketers. And I want to talk about the benefits of GA4, focusing on positive things, and maybe I would be able to change a mindset at least a bit. And I was asked to include a fun fact about myself in this presentation. So this is the Shiba Inu that we talked about a few minutes ago. So in my free time, I do love traveling with this doggo. And funny thing here is that I bought him for a profit I made out of $2 I invested in Dogecoin just for fun in 2017. I wish this was at least 200, but whatever. But why am I saying this? Because I learned a lesson. So there are things that you would have changed, but you simply did not know, right? At the same time, some things could have been changed and could have been done right? For example, this one, and I hope you did. So everyone got that email from Google. Well, people do not like being told what to do and being given no choice in a way. Yeah, but definitely change can be really unpredictable. It can be really hard. So when I saw this notification for the first time, it made me freak out. So in the past, I used to work for Google vendor. So I wanted to make a correction here. And I remember when GA4 was introduced in 2020, I was like, oh gosh, it looks kind of similar, yet it is completely different. And I freaked out, but I learned how to successfully ignore it and just, okay, whatever, let it be. I will be working with Universal Analytics. I will be ignoring the GA4 cases. But then we got this notification. And I'm pretty sure that many people felt the same way, and it's absolutely normal. And now we can see that many people are also ranting and raving about this whole migration thing because it is an abrupt decision. And we're given no choice. The choice is kind of made for us. And if you're working with Universal Analytics and what you want to continue working with the tool and you do not consider other alternatives, then you should start investing right now, investing in your education. Yeah, although it can be really tough and challenging. I know this feeling. And I wonder, do we have any PPC specialists here? Hey, people, right in the chat. I'm really curious to know that because I'm working at Magic School, as I mentioned before, and we do care about people, and we are doing our best to help them with this transition, making it as smooth as possible. And I know it's hard and you might be freaking out, and it's normal, but we have either to accept it or to switch to a different tool. This is also a solution, right? But we're really curious how people are dealing with this migration. So we ran a survey a few months ago, and the respondents were our members, and a great part of them are PPC marketers. And we got some really interesting results here. So you can see that 70.6% are dual tagging already. I was really surprised how responsibly they addressed this change. Maybe this was impacted by also the level. Yeah, so we have many intermediate and expert people here, and these are the members of Magic School. But also what's the most surprising is that 68.9% prefer the event-based model. So you can see everything is not that bad. At the same time, we help many people outside of the membership, and there are also many experts, and I find it truly inspiring because I have an opportunity to talk to experts from different fields of marketing. And there are many PPC especially there too. And these are the comments we usually get. It's normal again, I absolutely get it. And this is something very expected. So I think there is a reason for that. So it's way too complicated. It's a nightmare. I need a PhD in data analysis. It's interface and clunky and slow and so on. And this is exactly the reason why I decided to create this talk, because working with people from different fields made me look at the tool from a different perspective. So I got this different vision, I would say. And I wanted to do the one with the focus on PPC marketers specifically because I know the struggle. I talked to them and I wanted to know their opinions. And I also have to say that in this presentation, I will mainly be focusing on the Google ecosystem. So dealing with the universal analytics sunset can be compared to dealing with the loss. I went through all the loss stages myself. Maybe I'm still dealing with it. So, but it's a secret, I told you. And tell me what stage you are at the moment. So the first one is denial. Many PPC marketers resist the change and they think that they continue using universal analytics without any issues. Yeah, but then they move to the second one, which is anger. As they start understanding the difference between universal analytics and GA4, they feel frustrated, maybe even overwhelmed by the changes. Then comes the next stage. Can you guess it? Yeah, this is bargaining. So in attempt to avoid this transition, they keep going back to UA reports instead of GA4 because it's a matter of habit, and they're trying to convince themselves that they can stick with universal analytics to achieve their goals. But of course, the change is inevitable. And this is something we have to face, and this might cause depression. And you can see all the news, tweets, and posts about the sunset of universal analytics, and you delve deeper into working with the tool, and you can see the reporting interface is kind of new. Features look similar yet completely different, and you might feel overwhelmed, and you might think that you will never be able to get it. So what now? Sit back on my couch and tell me what bothers you about GA4. And I had a PPC marketer in one of our boot camps, and this is based on a true story. I will not reveal the name, of course, but I want to show our dialogue because the marketer was very unhappy. And we tried to talk about the benefits of GA4. So the upset marketer asked me, what about my UTM parameters? Yeah, that's a good question, but you should look at it from a different angle as an advantage. So as we transition to Google Analytics 4, it is crucial to ensure that our UTM parameters are accurately set up, since GA4 does not allow editing the channel groupings like Universal Analytics did. And it might seem as a disadvantage at first glance, but at the same time, there are some good things here. And maybe the custom channel grouping is coming soon, because it offers more channels granularity. So if you check the Google documentation, and you can see there are a great number of traffic sources, new fixed channel groupings, and their conditions. Also in good old universal analytics, we had a set of UTM parameters, and their main goal was to identify the source and campaign in order to understand how users landed at your website. Whereas GA4 offers more UTM parameters than universal analytics, and this means more granularity, more control, and more customization when it comes to the data you collect. So in this way, you can track some additional information about our campaigns. Yes, for example, we have source platform, and the parameter tells us about the platform that sent the traffic to our site. And also we have creative format. So as the name suggests, this parameter helps understand what type of creative you are using, display, video, native search, etc. And similar to the UTM content, we can use this parameter to differentiate between the creatives. And we have marketing tactic, and this is more about how you've done it targeting, for example, remarketing, prospecting, so on. So you can use it for other information like bidding strategies, for more details on audiences. And by utilizing this, you can make better informed decisions about how to optimize your campaigns and generate more conversions as a result. Okay, so we know how users arrive at our website, and the marketer seems somehow a bit happier, but at the same time not convinced. And he says, okay, so talking about conversions, the conversion tracking is so confusing in GA4. Well, actually, I think that setting up conversion tracking is an advantage right now. And let me just switch to the tool directly. And here I have the demo account as well as my test property. So do not expect anything here. I don't think even I have any data flowing here. But if we go to our admin, so I think that the tracking is definitely improved. And I chose that GIF that I showed you because I think that the process itself is way more simplified. Yeah, so in order to have a conversion, you simply have to turn your event into conversion by toggling this button right here. So this is the demo account. I don't have access, right, to do that. I don't have permissions, but simply by toggling this button. In my opinion, it's way easier than it used to be in Universal Analytics, more straightforward. There are other advantages here. So we also have the baseline of tracking, right? Because with this, if we go to data streams, you already know that we have something called enhanced measurement. So you can collect some events automatically. You simply have to install the snippet of code and that's it. So you don't have to do anything additionally, and you will start collecting those events. Let's say you have a client and you have to start working with something. Well, this is your baseline of tracking, but this is not it. So we have those events flowing. And there is another feature in GA4, and it's called create event. So what does it mean? Here we can see some examples. So this is pre-configured by someone of Googlers, but we can utilize this feature to create an event based on an event. So we don't have to run back to the developer and ask to install the code if there is no such possibility at the moment. For example, here we have this event page view, right? So it is collected with the help of enhanced measurement automatically. And we want to track some registration complete event. Yeah, so we have some thank you page. We do not have to do anything in the code because we can do it directly in the tools interface. So we simply take this page view event and we say, okay, so I want to specify a condition, and we can kind of filter down this event. Yes, so this can also be helpful if you want to create some events quickly without asking the developer for help. I cannot say I'm a strong proponent of this specific feature because I still prefer having my tracking in one place. Yeah, let's say Google Tag Manager and not scattered all over the place. But this is a possibility to configure to create conversions. Also, Google was really generous here, and we can create 30 conversions per property, excluding default conversions like purchase. And now I'm talking about the free version of GA4 because the limit is higher for the paid version, it's 50. Then another change is that every instance is counted. So you know that Universal Analytics counts only one conversion per session for each goal. So let's say if a user submits a form twice, then it will be counted as one conversion. Now in GA4, every instance is counted because we have a completely different data model, and therefore it works in a different way. There are also no good old goal types. Now we have conversion events only. Okay, and this is again because we have the event-driven model, which is way more flexible. So with the help of utilizing, or with the help of those features, you can fuel your bidding decisions to help optimize your campaigns for better performance. Moreover, you can create audiences of users who did not convert in order to re-engage them. So I think that utilizing these features can definitely improve your strategy. And it's way more simplified, I would say, that it was in the past. Oh, and I forgot about one more thing. Actually, if I go back to the tool, now we also have the debug view, which is pretty cool. Yeah, because if you configured an event or a conversion and you want to check quickly if something is working, you can also do it exactly in the interface of GA4. So this can be pretty helpful, and you can feel like a developer yourself. So this is kind of simplified troubleshooting. Let me go back. And now, before we move to the next statement of the said marketer, I have a riddle for you. Can you guess the GA4 feature? This one, maybe someone has already utilized it. Any ideas? It's just to distract the marketer because he was pretty sad. I decided to come up with the riddle. So we will cover it in a moment, but this is also one of the benefits of GA4, I would say. Okay, so the next thing, the upset marketer says, my client wants me to use analytics data for targeting. Well, I think this is good because we can utilize the audience builder, right? Of course, we also used to have one in universal analytics, but there are some advantages in GA4, and we will cover them in a moment. So we will go directly into the tool, but some advantages. So we have the dynamic evaluation, so you can understand the audience size in real time, so you can have a look at it. We have complex configuration conditions, and I absolutely love it, because now you can use dimensions, metrics on top of events to form practically any subset of users that you want to have. So this gives you many possibilities. Also, another great improvement that audiences are automatically shared once you have your account linked. So, and they're also automatically updated. So you don't have to go and do it manually one by one, which could be a bit annoying. And we can create audiences in two ways. And this is why I need my test account. So here in the admin section, we have audiences, and we can go directly from here. So this is where you can create a new audience, and this is the audience builder. And now we have different here suggestions. So we have general, templates, predictive, or you can create a custom audience from scratch. But one cool thing here, if I go to the property settings, and here we have industry category, and let's say I want to have jobs and education. And if I select this one, let's see what will happen when I go to audiences. So you can see we have jobs and education. So now analytics provides some pre-configured audiences that you can use or modify also if necessary, aligned with your chosen business category. But of course, I have to mention one important thing here, that you need to have recommended events implemented to be able to use it. So this is not something that is coming by default. So you would have also to implement recommended events. But let me show you, for example, I go back to my property settings, and if I select games, and here we go to audiences, and this is where you will see games. So according to the business vertical, which is pretty cool. We also have templates. Yeah, so this is kind of predefined, pre-configured, but you can also change the conditions. And then we have predictive, so machine learning. And this is a very powerful feature, and it is another great improvement of GA4. And I think it's definitely a step forward because you can power your data with the help of machine learning. And Google has been heavily investing in it, but how can we utilize it? So with the help of machine learning, you could predict future behavior of your users, and you can, let's say, identify people with high purchase probability. Sounds pretty cool. Or you could also target people who are on threshold of converting. So basically what you can do, you can use predictive metrics to build such an audience. And in this way, machine learning can help you identify your users. You can also re-engage with customers who are likely to churn. And we will have a look at some examples in a moment. So this is the first way how you configure audiences, or I'm switching now to the demo account so that you can follow. Here we have the Explore section. This is where you can build your custom reports. And this is where you can get deeper insights if you want to analyze your user activity. And here we have, let's make select the select freeform. This is where we have those segments, his segment builder. And this is how you can also build an audience, right? So by marking this option right here, and I think it's pretty cool because it could be a great starting point for your audience, because you can have a look at the subsets of data before creating the actual audiences. Also, another cool thing that you can do, you can use audiences in comparisons in your standard reports. Let me quickly show you. So if I go, let's say, to events here, and we can create a comparison. And I can say here, I can provide a condition, audience name, and let's say edit to cart and no purchase. Yeah, and in this way, you can apply those comparisons if you want to answer some questions with the help of standard reports. So this is also doable. Let me go back to the Explorer section, and I will just go to the free form because there are a few more things I want to show you. And I will be using the segment builder because I don't have any data in my test property. But what we can do, we can also create sequences here. So this is something that we used to have in Universal Analytics. But the cool thing is the concept of time in GA4. So you can see you can also add the different parameters here. So let's say step number 1 is add to cart, and step number 2 is purchase. And here we can also specify the time. So let's say you give your user 25 minutes between those steps, right? And this is possible with GA4. So you can configure something like that. So those users were particularly eager to buy my products. Or let me show you another example. What we can do, let's say you want to target your users with the immediate purchase intent. So we can say add to cart, and then we can say, how can we do that? We will say event count more than 1. So my clients who added products more than 1, like more than 0. And then I can say time period and most recent, and I can say with the last 7 days, which is pretty cool, right? So we can say, I want to target my clients who are really eager to buy. So they have this purchase intent. And I can also, of course, add group to exclude. I can say purchase. So who did not buy, so who added to cart, but who did not buy. So we even count, and here the zoom bar does not allow me to. Oh, okay, such a nice bug. Yeah, so you got the idea, right? Because with this size of my screen, I cannot do that, but this is very interesting to see such a thing in GA4. Yeah, but still, it's still under heavy development. So, okay, and let me delete those. And in this way, you can come up with different complex conditions, and you can also play with this dynamic lookback. Yes, so people, for example, who viewed my product within the last 3 days and so on. You can also add parameters. So let's say you can specify additional conditions such as price. So who added goods with a price more than $100. So you want to target those users. And this is pretty cool. But another cool thing that we can do here, as we discussed before, this is machine learning. And you can, so Google Analytics will enrich your data, leveraging it. And we can kind of predict the future behavior of users. But we can also combine those predictive metrics with our own conditions, which is pretty cool. For example, what could be predicted top spenders or past purchasers who are likely to churn. So let's build something together. Let's say I want to have an audience of people who viewed my items, my item, and event count, let's say, more than 2 times in the last 7 days, right? So the most recent time period. and who are likely to churn, because I want to target those people. So we can say churn probability, and we can provide the condition. Yeah, so most likely to churn. Now let's click apply. And voila. So this is how you can define this audience. Or another example could be, let's say I want to target my current clients, right? So let's say who already purchased from me. So here, event count is more than 0, right? So they're my clients. But I want to specify the subcontinent. So I can say subcontinent, and I can add a filter, and I can say Northern America as an example. And we can also add our third condition, who are likely to purchase, right? So we want to target those people, and we can say a purchase probability. Oh, sorry, this is the wrong condition. I need not purchase, I need purchase probability. Hello, I don't see it. Oh, it's here. And because the zoom bar was hiding. Purchase probability, and we can add a filter, most likely to purchase. And voila. So we defined our audience. And yeah, so for now, it's a segment which you can turn into an audience by utilizing this feature, build an audience. But again, utilizing segments could be a good starting point for you. So I guess that this is pretty cool, because in this way, you can define your kind of ideal audience you want to deliver ads to. So my marketer feels kind of convinced in a way, but he says, but my client does not have a clear conversion action. That's a good question. And I have some good news for you. I'm coming back to the riddle time. Do you remember the riddle? We can utilize audience triggers. This is a step forward in GA4, and this is a new feature. It was not available before. Let me go back. Oops. Let me go back to my analytics. So we have this audience, let's say. You can have a look at it. But what if I told you that we could turn it kind of into conversion? So this can be a pretty powerful feature here, because we have here audience trigger, and it was never available before. So how does it work? You can kind of turn this audience into event. So audience triggers let you trigger events when users match the definition of an audience and become members. And this is doable. I will cancel, but it's pretty cool. And then, of course, you can work with it. You can see it in the reports, and you can also turn it into conversion. So you can trigger events, for example, when user initiates a certain number of sessions, or when user reads certain number of articles, or maybe when user books your hotel several times, and you can analyze it in the reports. And of course, you can mark it with conversions, import them to Google Ads, and so on. And I would say the best use case would be here to define your loyal customers. Yeah, so this is how you kind of define the loyal clients that you have, their loyalty features, and you can fire an event. So let me just show you an example. We can say people who made 5 purchases. All right, so these are our kind of loyal customers, and then you can use it as an audience trigger. This can be really helpful, especially if you have conversion volume-based strategies. So you can experiment with this feature, and you can create those conversion actions with the help of audience triggers, because you can see that you can actually define complex conditions, and you do not have to ask the developer for help. You do not have to do anything in the code. So everything is done within the tool. So my marketer looks kind of okay. I can see the glimmer of hope in his eyes. but this is not it. He still is not convinced. And he says, my client has 10 different funnels and wants to retarget every step. So this is our cherry on the cake, because we can utilize this great feature of GA4, which is funnels. And I think they're way, way better than they used to be in using horizontal analytics. And in this way, we can optimize inefficient or abandoned customer journeys. So what is a funnel? These are the steps users take to complete a task or on the way to specific conversion, right? Let me go back to the tool. And here, if I go to my Explorer, this is where you can find the funnel. And here we have the funnel exploration. And here we go. You can see that now you remember we talked about the data model. Yes, a data-driven, event-driven, data model. This means that you can define the steps here. So this can be any event. It can be suitable for any business model. You can define the steps that you want. And I think this is great. Also, we have different visualization methods. So we have standard, or you can say, I want to look at those steps simultaneously. Then you can have a look at the trended funnel. And this is not it. So how could it be utilized by PPC marketers? So here, let's say I will not configure a funnel right now. So this is just something that we have pre-configured in the demo account. But let's imagine that this is a classical e-commerce funnel. And this can be really great for optimization, because when we have this funnel, we can see the weak points and we can work and we put our attention and get the most results if we want to improve that point. For example, I can see that many people are leaving at the add to cart. So maybe we need a testimonial, social proof, product images. We have to get rid of all the bugs and glitches. We have to make it mobile responsive and so on. Of course, PPC marketers would have to collaborate with the team, right? But this is exactly the process of conversion optimization at its best. Moreover, this is not all that we can do with the funnel. We can segment our people. So we can have segmentation, which is pretty cool, because let's say you can see the steps. If I do the right click, I can create the segments from users at this specific step. And here you can see I can build an audience utilizing this feature, which is pretty cool. So let me go back to the slides. I'm not sure if this may convince you, and I didn't want to convince you about it, because I can say that there are many things that I feel kind of a bit not happy about GA4, but it's absolutely normal. But I hope that you started hating it less if you did. And those features can help you understand the tool better and maybe improve the marketing strategy, even if you're not PPC marketer. So I hope it's kind of, it was a bit of acceptance. And there are a few things that I want to mention, because, you know, the tool is being developed the whole time, and there are many more features yet to come for sure. And it's pretty funny because like I create those YouTube videos and I record a video, and then next week it's not up to date anymore. I was like, oh, this hurts, but this is what it is. This is the reality right now. And just a few things I want to highlight, because this is this screenshot of the Google documentation when it comes to about auto migration. So everyone is talking about it, and we will have an excellent talk by Phil Pierce. So you will learn more about it, but this is something worth mentioning. So if you import conversions from UI property into Google Ads and use them for bidding, these goals will be switched to the GA4 equivalent. And this involves the following steps. So this is something to pay attention to. Another thing that is coming in the future, so the GA4 Audience Builder will be embedded in Google Ads to simplify GA4 audience creation and apply them to your, oh, funny, they skipped the space. I'm just a bit of perfectionist, sorry. But no one is perfect, and it's normal to make mistakes. So it's the human nature to Google Ads campaigns. So this is something that is pretty interesting. So we'll see how it goes. But just as a summary, there are some great features in GA4. So we have the granularity, customization, the UTM parameters. We have the improved conversion tracking. We have the powerful audience builder with new concept of time, as well as machine learning, because you can utilize the predictive metrics. We have the audience triggers, and we have also improved funnels. So it's definitely time to act. Either you want to switch to an alternative or switch to GA4. It is time to act now because we do not have much time left. And I don't want to be somehow scary or pessimistic, but this is it. And the sunset is coming very soon. So it's in July and it's better to be prepared. And it's time to invest in yourself, in your education. And it's important to start learning GA4 or any other tool you want to switch to as soon as possible. Yeah, so maybe you're saying like, okay. And if you want to get more psychotherapy sessions, or if you just want to discuss GA4 or other tools with us, feel free to go to Measure School, and or you can shoot me an email. I would be happy to help you where I can, or I can always ask Julian. They want to know you, Julian, so he can help me. And oh, by the way, we have the similar event called Measure Summit. And I saw that Julian already posted about just this file where you can apply for being a speaker, because we are currently looking for speakers. And I'm pretty sure that there are many outstanding people here. So I would be really happy if you apply. So this is not me selecting, by the way. So Julian is doing the whole stuff, but I really encourage you to apply. And thank you so much for your time, for listening to me. And it was a great pleasure to be here. And thank you, Phil, for inviting me. I feel really humbled and honored.
Thanks, Sophia. I've just put the links to like the Measure School sort of YouTube channel in chat. So if people on this call, if you're not subscribed to Measure School on YouTube, you should be. There's some fantastic videos there. Both Sophia and Julian have got some great stuff on there. I've also posted a link to your Facebook community, Sophia. I don't know if is that private or public?
Unfortunately, that one is kind of public, not public, private, because this is for our members. Yeah, because we also, maybe people didn't know, but we have the Measure School and we have the Measure Masters. So this is the kind of private school created by Julian, and this is the paid thing. So, and this is our community, right? But we also have like our website, we have the blog where you can ask questions. We also have free advice. So if you send an email, we're there to help you, and as well as the YouTube channel.
Great. That's fantastic. I've just posted a link to the blog in there as well. So the next thing, so it's my talk next. Or at least actually, just before we do that, I'm just going to check for questions, Sophia.
Sure. I'm really looking forward to your talk.
Yeah, well, my one, I've been quite busy with organizing things, so mine's a bit of a draft talk. So we'll see how things go. Just looking through chat. And yeah, I mean, there's lots of people that are asking about the slides. In case you missed the bit of the start on the intro, what we're going to do with slides and recordings is we want to make slides and recordings free, and that's what we did like last time we ran the event 3 months ago. But we have to sort of cover our costs, and Zoom Zoom webinar is really expensive. So what we're going to do is people can buy for $95 early access to the recordings, which are probably going to be sent out Friday morning once we've sort of trimmed them and stuff, and got speakers just to approve them, and then we're also bundling our access to our GA4 migrator tool within that. So what we're going to try next, so we've had some slight issues with trying to get Zoom to share audio, not the microphone audio, but kind of sound. So we're going to try and jump over into the networking lounge, and I'm going to do my talk actually in the networking lounge. So Sophia, the networking lounge it's called Wonder. I'm just going to put a link to it in chat, which is this one. Oops, there we go. Oh, I forgot the for Sophia. If you've got any questions or feedback for Sophia, here's the link to the feedback form. Oops, there we go. So I've just put that in chat, and I'll just put it on the screen as well, just so people can sort of complete that. So that's just bit.ly/Sophia with 2 I's -J forward. So that goes through to a Google form, and we'll sort of share any sort of questions and stuff with Sophia. I'll just give you a few seconds to do that. And then that's the Wonder Networking Lounge. We have had a question that's just come through, Sophia.
Okay.
So someone's asked, do you recommend any specific resources for learning more about GA4?
Sure. You can go to Magic School, of course, but there are so many outstanding experts out there. I have to say, by the way, that Phil's talk at Magic Camp about 10 migration mistakes, I will remember it forever. I'm in love with your presentation. I still remember it. So and Phil's blog is really amazing. And there are many specialists out there. This is the Analytics Mania, Krista Zaiden, Charles Farina, who I absolutely love, and also everything he does. So truly inspiring, true expert I look up to. You can also check the David Vallejo's blog, that I'm learning a lot from him. Of course, the one and only Sima Hava. So I hope one day I will reach that level. There are many, I cannot mention everyone, but these are the main resources I'm using for learning. Also, because I have to learn the whole time. It's always development.
And are there any kind of GA4 specific courses that Measure Schools are sort of rolling out, or is there a cohort happening at the moment?
So we have on YouTube like the course for beginners, super beginner friendly, so that anyone can start learning GA4, even if you run the business and you want to understand how it tools works. So you can check that one. Of course, we also offer courses within the membership, but this is the paid membership. But we have the deep dive, we have the fundamentals, we have the reporting course separately. So they are kind of in depth, I would say. And the deep dive was the last one, and I recorded it together with Julian. So we have everything. Lots of things covered, such as measurement protocol and so on. So you can just learn about it. And we are constantly updating it. We also run boot camps. So we had 2 so far within the last 6 months. So if you see something, so you can check LinkedIn and also the Magic School channel. We have our announcement there. And this is where you can find all the news if you're interested, of course, because the sunset again is super soon and it's time to learn.
Yeah, that's great. I've just put a link in chat to some of your GA4 sort of courses, and definitely hit the subscribe button on YouTube, and I've just linked through to your kind of Analytics 4 kind of blog thing. We're going to jump over into Wonder. So just a note on Wonder: if you've got Zoom open and you try and open Wonder, it doesn't work. So you've got to you may need to close Zoom and then open Wonder. Thanks. I think Isa, that solved that issue. Wonder uses HTML5 videos, so let's see what happens when we jump over to that. So I'm just going to put that screen and the link to Wonder in chat. So so it's bit.ly/Wonder, and I'm going to jump over that. So Chris, if you could leave the link for Wonder open on your screen, and then I'm going to jump over into the Wonder panel bit. Thanks again, Sophia.
Thank you.
A great talk, and thanks for sharing that knowledge. And yeah, I mean, it's great to have some lady speakers, especially on sort of Women's Day today. So that's awesome. Yeah, I wish there were more people like yourself. So yeah, thanks again. And